I think every combo deck is bad for the game. No, I don't think. For example, we had combo decks in the past, even when combo decks weren't the best decks in the game. For example, in 2007, 8 or whatever, like 9, we had like Quasar decks or whatever. Like they exist. And they did like 1 billion summons per turn, and Maxi didn't exist, right? But why they were bad? Because combo decks were what they're called, a combo deck. You need to arrange combo pieces, and that usually meant multiple cards. Right? Like you need to arrange like 4 cards and make a setup, and then you make a combo. It's not, people call combo deck like summoning a tour guide. What the fuck is this, man? How a combo deck is normal summon one monster? This is absurd. This is completely absurd. A combo deck was trying to get multiple cards through a bunch of turns. Now you summon tour guide and you do plus 11. What the fuck, man? This is not what a combo deck, in my opinion, should be. There was a bunch of Quasar decks that do a bunch of crazy shit, but you need to draw like 3 one-offs to do that. I don't think necessarily a special summon is the problem. Like special summoning is the problem. Even Tombox is here. What the fuck is happening today? Okay, so hi Tombox. So I don't think a special summon is a problem. Is the issue, like the core issue with the game. Okay, I think it is what it leads to. Okay, for example, one card that I really want to be banned that some people don't talk about is Apollousa. And cards like those, like super generic interactive through extra deck thing. Okay, a card from extra deck that can interact with your opponent that is super. Because I think we came to a point in Yugioh that is silly to believe that the special summon aspect of the game is going away. It's not. Because even if they try to make special summon less often, we have a bunch of old decks that can do that as well, and they can eventually lead to something in the extra deck. So the problem is having extra deck interactions that is too generic. So there are a bunch of cards that can do that. So that's one of the issues, okay? Having something like an Apollousa. But that's not the only issue. The second issue is, again, extra deck cards. Extra deck cards that makes more cards, okay? That makes more cards. And you can do this. And you see that are not lying, okay? This is the ban list, okay? You guys know the ban list? Let's look at the extra deck monsters that are banned. What they have in common? They are either something that interacts with the opponents or cuts one, what's the name? One, not engine, what's the name? One mechanic. Cuts one mechanic, or it's a super interactive card, or leads to a lot of special summons. It's something from your extra deck that leads to something else. Just like Estou, or Link Cross, Summon Sorcery, all that. So let's see. Special summon card. This is pretty much everything because you cop a card, so it's whatever. This is one that kills the mechanic. Special summon. It is a special summon card because what you get of this, it is a special summon. This is almost like a special summon, right? Because it is an extra summon. It's not a special summon, but you get an extra summon, right? Special summon, special summon, special summon. This is something that is a bad interactive, right? Because it takes a card from hand. Special summon, special summon, special summon, special summon. This is FTK, so that's a different one. And look, everything is this. Is either something that don't let your opponents play, like Rongo or Shockmaster, or it's a special summon card. It's Lavaval, Invoker. So there is a trend. There is a clear trend here. I've been talking about this for 7 years. I can't take this anymore. Since this fucking XYZs and Links got released, I've been talking about this. That's the issue. Stop printing those fucking cards. It's easy. It's easy. You need to stop printing these fucking cards. Cards from next deck that leads to more special summon, or cards from next deck that denies a mechanic. You need to stop. And in Konami Defense, they kind of stopped printing those. They stopped doing those. We don't have like cards like these being released, right? We don't have more of those being released. So I think it's getting better as we go. Okay, it's getting a little bit better every time because we are not getting new cards. Okay, we are not getting new cards like this. We are not getting cards like this anymore, right? And we are slowly taking away cards like those. So, like Tubbs say, new archetypes are kind of trash, right? They are not trash. They are trash in comparison. So, things are good or bad in relation to something else, right? Right? So, it is bad if you compare to something else. I think decks having a lot of follow-up. I think if you want to make a good deck, a BA was a good example, like in 2014, right? It's a deck that what does BA do? It floats. It floats. That was the main thing about BA. It floats. It's difficult to lose cards, right? But BA, when it was released, right, like in the first and second set, wasn't a deck that interacts with opponents. The only way BA interact with someone else was by using hard draw cards. It needs to play traps or hand traps or whatever they wanted. Like, they need to play something like that. There was no way for you to get BA cards and turn them into ways to prevent your opponent from playing. And I think if you want to make a special summon based game, this is as far as you can go. This is as far as you can go. This is my opinion, okay? People like stop your opponent with 5 negations. I don't know why. How is that even fun? I don't know if that ever helps anyone. So that's my rant. What do you guys think? I can talk about this subject forever, man. I spent an excessive amount of time thinking about this. And this is not healthy. Not the format is healthy. This is unhealthy. Show all the BA profiles, no. Unhealthy amount of time think about this whole thing. I will send a Konami an email with all the things that I said there. Maybe they can hear me. I don't know, man. Someone has to do something. I think the best thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a resource-based interactive grind game that we had in the past. Like, BA mirrors were really good. BA against Shadow was really good too in 2014. There was a lot of situations where we had even Dragon Ruler ones. Dragon Ruler mirror. What? Okay. Why Dragon Ruler mirror were good? Why? People say, okay, Dragon Ruler mirrors were really good. And it was. But why? What's the reason? They were good and not bad. I will wait to guys to answer. I know there's a delay. I'm not going to answer before I want to see you guys talking about it. Why the Dragon Ruler mirrors were good? Okay, why the Dragon Mirrors were good? Only engine-wise, okay? Not counting no engine cards, like only engine, okay? But why the best player win? I want to see why, the reason, gameplay-wise. I know the answer. I think I know. Both players got to play the game besides the opponents. Yeah, like let's not count no engine issues. Just like a flute gate, which is also an issue, but like longer games. But why longer games? I want the answer of why. I know it's difficult. And then you need to remember how the game went. Yeah, Rant is right. Okay, so I will answer what I think, okay? Dragon Ruler had everything and to be completely absurd, right? And it was at the time. But why it was good? The mirror was good. Because the engine of Dragon Ruler does interact with opponents in their turn. The best way you could do with Dragon Ruler is going first, usually, right? Like within reason in an average hand. It's like trying to get names, which is resource based, right? Like you try to get all the names to be available, right? And your board, it was like a Draco sack for you to try to not die and make the tokens, or you do shit like that. It was this. There was no rank 7? 7. It was 7, right? There was no rank 7 that negates a monster effect and destroy it and draws a card. And there was no Trident that pops a card. There was nothing that negates a spell rank 7 wise. There was nothing like this. Imagine, I know Savage Dragon is impossible to work, but there was no link. But imagine a Synchro 8 that negate cards back then. There was not. We had like Scrap Dragon and Stardust Dragon and Crimson Blader. And Crimson Blade interactions were really cool because Crimson Blade was one of the main cards in the matchup. Yeah, Stardust is different, right? It's different. Stardust is really different. Let's not hold it to technicalities, like, but it's different. So you can make a really strong deck, special summon base, and not break a good game. What was the issue with your Dragon Rulers? The issue was gameplay wise. The mirror was good, was price, and it was much better than the other options. And then make a tier 0 deck. And that's also another issue. But it's okay. That's an issue. But I think it's less of an issue than other things. I miss the days where I complained about floodgates. Trap floodgates. I miss it. They're still an issue. Trap floodgates. But we have so many more big issues than floodgates right now. Trap floodgates right now. That we don't even bother complaining about them. Like the only one that we complain right now is like Imperial Order, but that's it. And all of them are problematic because it is a mechanic that has a problem, and from time to time will be something that. But why Amping is bad? Because it's a continuous effect that prevents a mechanic, which is a special summon. Preventing mechanics is something that shouldn't happen. Why do you think tier 0 is an issue when mirror is good? Because it's bad for the game. It's not bad for the high competitive players like me and you, right? Like people who play like, okay, white says whatever, right? Because if the game is leaning towards the one who prepare more, is better. But if you look overall, and I understand that as a game developed thing, right? I can't make the game for me only because I'm really small part of the meta, but I also cannot accept the game to be completely broken. So it has to have some balance, and we had this balance in the past, even recent past. Like in 2019 was decent, 2014 was fine. There was balance in those things. So yeah, I think it's bad for the overall game. People dislike because the price was really high too, and that's another issue. Yeah, but we had examples in the past of, in my opinion, formats that were good for a big chunk of the audience. The competitive players and the more casual players. Yeah, I think what usually people call the format decks usually are the best ones if the gameplay between those decks is fine. I think having 4 to 5 more competitive decks, it's a good number of decks, and you have other ones like being around, only if that is a healthy gameplay, which I believe is a healthy gameplay, right? What we have right now is a 4 to 5 deck, so we have that. But in my opinion, we don't have a completely healthy gameplay wise talking. That I don't think we have. It's really easy to lose games just because it happens more often than it should, because it will always happen. It is a card game. It has to have some randomness. This is necessary because this can be in a way that the best player will win all the time. It can't be like that, because if it is like that, it's not good for the long run, and it is not. But it can be too much of the other way. It's not only about the power level. It depends what you call power level. So people just say things like, "Oh, the ceiling's too high, the power level, whatever." Like, but what I don't see people talking about, it's the whys of the things, the reasons. What's the issue is? In my opinion, the issue is that if you resolve a Yu-Gi-Oh card, you win the game 85% of the time. And this is too much. That's the issue for me. But people just say, "Oh, they are too consistent. The power level is too high." This is not enough, because if the ways that people say that it should be addressed doesn't address the root of the problem, this will keep happening.